Hello soul searchers, and welcome back to my channel, Falolu's Fortune, where we use tarot to gain better insight into ourselves and the world around us. So as you can see, I'm doing my hair and this is probably gonna take a little while, but as I'm doing my hair I'm getting messages, so I just wanted to come on camera really quick and get some of these out. So I did something that I haven't done with my hair in a very long time, and that was, for this part, it was like absolutely nothing. I washed it, I put a conditioner in it and rinsed it out, and after I got out the shower that day, I did not put any product in it. I just let the curls live, and they actually looked really good. They looked really good for the first 2 days, and now we've gotten here. And I can't say they look bad, but the hair is just dry, okay? There's no product on it, minus these twists here. So yeah, it's time to give it a little refresh and give it some nutrients. And the overall gist is that, you know, because I took, when did I do my hair? When did I do my hair? I want to say Sunday. Today's Wednesday. So because I took those 3 days and just let my hair experience, you know, the environment without water, without moisturizer, without leave-in conditioner, there's basically a sense that like now it's grateful. You know, now that we're in this process and it's getting the product and the water and everything that it needs to be healthy and beautiful. Now it's grateful because it went that little bit of time without that. Hair is generally not animate. I mean, it's an inanimate part of us, right? So I can't really say that my hair has feelings, but apparently on a spiritual level, yes. Hair is basically like a plant. You gotta water it, you know, it needs water to continue to grow. So zooming this out the way we always kind of have to, it kind of brought me to messages about myself and like all of the things that I feel like I've gone without, or like the depletion energy that I feel like I've kind of been fighting almost my whole life, the lack mentality, etc., etc. All of that is leaving me, but I needed that energy for the time that I had it because part of it is just character building. Like, I don't know what sort of menace I would be if I had been born with a silver spoon and always got everything I wanted and blah, blah, blah. Because I'm already a spoiled brat. So I can only imagine the menace that I would be if I didn't know struggle and hard work and things like that. This isn't a message for everyone. This is also not a request from spirit to go and make your life hard and self-sabotage or like put yourself in predicaments that may be unsafe or may put you in a bad spot. It's not a call for that. This is a message for people who have already been going through that or have experienced that, and like even when you're trying to get out of the thick of it, even when you're doing your best, you're doing all the right things, you're keeping up with your spiritual regimen, you're taking the right steps in the physical, it's like no matter what, there's just always kind of this invisible foot on your neck. That's who this message is for. And again, only take these if they resonate, as always, because even if you do feel that, this particular message may still not be for you because it is a slightly harder one. It's a harder one, and it also just doesn't apply to everyone's situation. So the message that's coming through for me and the crowd that this is for is basically a crowd who, if they had had a silver spoon not only would they be menaces to society, it's twofold. It's like you would be a menace to society, and you also wouldn't be doing or living your life purpose. It's like you kind of had to go through the character building so that you could be grateful for your blessings when they come. It's just a sense of like you have to be, certain types of energies have to be depleted before they can really appreciate the blessings that are theirs, the blessings that are in spiritual escrow, as Abraham Hicks likes to say. Getting what movie is this? Mulan. I'll make a man out of you. And that's kind of the energy that spirit, regardless of gender, it's like, yeah, we'll make a decent human being out of you by putting you through this. And it's almost like they didn't even kind of put you through anything, but they just didn't shield you from anything either. Or they didn't shield you from stuff that they knew you could deal with. And some of this you just like actively kind of created on your own too, because there's also a higher part of you that knew you needed to go through some stuff. So even if you consciously feel like things are just kind of stacked against you, there is a part of like your higher self that's like, yeah, let's do this so that she can go through this and learn. They can go through this and learn the lessons that they need to learn. There's something about the energy of depletion that can make you a lot more grateful. I'm getting so many things coming up right now. So my fiance loves to watch like Survivor and like, what are they called? Like the, just like the Survivor shows. So we were watching Naked and Afraid, or I think it's Naked and Afraid. Something basically where they're naked in the wild and they have to just like survive, figure stuff out on their own, use the environment to really like continue living. And for this season, they're in like a barren landscape in Africa. It's not a desert because it does have trees and like ponds and lakes in certain places, but it's just, it's not the most fertile land. So like it would be hard to garden or farm or anything. There's not berries you can just pluck. And so people have been starving on this show. And it's so interesting when they finally get a kill to see how grateful they are. Like literally tears will come to their eyes. And like that's something that, especially in the West, a lot of us have just never had to deal with hunger. More people have had to deal with hunger than you think, but in general, that level of hunger where you're just going for days and days, some of them went like a week with no food. That's a different level. But that energy of depletion, when they finally do get the food, they're just so much more grateful for it. I was also having a conversation with someone, and they were like, I think it's very telling. They're not religious or into Christianity at all. But they were like, I think it's very telling that like so many Christians, part of their testimony is that they were down bad. Like, why are you only finding, like, if God is so great, why are you only finding them, him, whoever, when times are hard? And I was like, I could actually get with Christians on that. That one makes sense to me, because when you are down bad and you're doing everything in the physical that you can do to change your circumstances, it's like maybe this is something else. That's when you start realizing like there's something deeper going on. Let me go inside, let me go seeking, let me see what spiritual traditions are out here that can maybe explain what's actually going on. I remember that's what got me back into spirituality. I've always been kind of into spirituality and meditation, but 2019 to 2021 took me through the ringer. And that was, between losing my dad in 2019, then COVID, having to work from home, just being like not in the best mental space. That's when I got back into my spirituality. That's when I started meditating. That's when I took my first tarot class. That it was actually my birthday gift to myself in January 2021. So I gifted myself a tarot class. That's the year I initiated into Ifa. So I do kind of get that, but that's the energy that's coming through. It's just this energy of, would you appreciate it if you hadn't, wow, that's deep. Would you appreciate it if you hadn't gone through all these things? So what also just came to mind is, like, if you think about the billionaires of today who we all love to hate, not very many of them worked from the bottom up. I mean, you could say Jeff Bezos, but even he, I feel, isn't necessarily fulfilling. I can't say whether or not he's fulfilling his soul mission. I don't know his soul, but the energy that's coming through is like, we want the next wave of change makers to have a depth of character that's been lacking, right? Like, we don't, and this is kind of how I'm hearing it spiritually. It's like, we don't want to put people in the position to make change who don't even know what changes to make, right? We don't want to put people or make all of these billionaires, millionaires, whatever. We don't want to put these people in positions of power with no character. Because that is part of the problem of today, is that, a lot of the people who are making the policies and things like that, they're so out of touch with reality. They've never really had to work or struggle. So they're out of touch with how far you can actually stretch $12,000 a year, because some people are still making that. Insane to me, but yeah. And they're just out of touch. And there's something about the next wave of change makers needing to not only have the money and the resources to make the changes, but also the depth of character to know what changes to make. Struggles have been pointing you in a certain direction. They've all been trying to build you, build the strength within you. There's also just, it's important to have that solar plexus be firm, to actually have that resilience. But it's like, if you really look back on everything you've overcome, and maybe you feel like there are still things you're overcoming, but think about the wins you've had thus far. The battles you went through were probably hard, difficult, things you wouldn't have chosen necessarily, but now that you're on the other side of it, hopefully you can see how much those different battles and things actually did help you and serve you. Okay, 5 hours later, the hair is officially done. I don't even want to talk about the fight that we just had, but now we're on good terms. Long story short, okay, so I forgot I was going to mention this. I watched a video in the interim between when I recorded with you guys and then when I actually finished my hair. I watched a video from this pet content creator I follow. She has a snake named Tofu. I will link her channel in the description or maybe up here, because I don't even like snakes usually, but I do kind of like her content. And she did a video today basically she didn't do it today, but I saw it today, and it was a video of her giving a timeline of her struggle with substances and like really hard substances. And I didn't even know that she had struggled with that. It just came up on my For You page because I always like her tofu content. So that literally kind of ties into what I was saying, that your struggles, the things you've gone through. I'm not going to say that for her it was character development, because she seems like she's always been pretty cool. But it's not even necessarily character development, but it's like you had to go through that in order to get here. And I'm not even going to say she had to go through that, but it's just, especially, okay, I wasn't even going to go here with it. when you've already been through things, the different hardships, it's almost like you have to give yourself main character energy in order to get yourself out of it. It's almost like you have to say, you know what, all this struggle has to be for something. So it's not even necessarily that you have to go through uncomfortable things or like go through those challenges and battles, but it's like they're almost a prerequisite to life. So having gone through the things that you've gone through, what can you do with that, or how can you be better with that? I kind of don't even know. I feel like this is a slightly different message from how it started. So this might need to be a different video, but it's giving Three of Wands energy, which I also recently talked about. That'll probably be posted after this video, but I literally did a hairstyle. It's always the hair. I did a hairstyle tapping into Three of Wands energy, and it's all about lining up the past, present, and future. You may not be the proudest of your past, but there are at least lessons there, things that helped grow you. So what can you do with those struggles that you've been through in the past? What can you do with that in the present to build yourself toward a better future? With that, we are starting to cook, so I feel like that's really where I need to leave it. I will definitely link, I think her name is Taylor. It's crazy. I know her snake's name and not her name. I will link her channel here. You should definitely go check it out if you like animals. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, I'll see you later, soul searchers.